On New Year's Eve, my mother had a sudden heart attack and was rushed to the ICU. I immediately called my wife. Her first love answered the phone, his tone challenging. "She's making New Year's Eve dinner for me right now. Do you need something?" I was silent for a moment, then smiled and said, "Nothing. Happy New Year to you both." Half an hour later, my wife called. "Honey, Michael is all alone at his place. I'm just having New Year's Eve dinner with him. I'll be back soon." I said, "Okay, but you don't need to come back. You can stay with him." The light above the operating room door was still on. Holding my phone, I leaned weakly against the wall. Relatives and friends arrived in waves. "David, how's your mother? David, what did the doctor say? David, why didn't Emily come with you?" I lowered my head, not knowing what to say. After my mother was brought to the hospital, the doctors immediately issued a critical condition notification. I watched helplessly as one doctor after another entered the OR, but none came out. As for Emily, was I supposed to tell them she had just posted on social media, having New Year's Eve dinner with Michael, raising a glass to ring in the new year? I could only bury my head in the sand, licking my wounds alone. Emily's father and mother rushed over. Not seeing Emily, her father's face turned grim. He immediately pulled out his phone and called her. "Where did you run off to? Get over here right now." Before her father could finish, Emily's dissatisfied voice cut in. "Dad, did David complain to you again? Honestly, I've already explained everything to him, and he's still so petty." Emily's mother started to speak. "Emily, Mom, you don't need to say anything. I can handle things between him and me. You and Dad don't need to worry. I have something going on here. I'll hang up now." Her mother looked at me awkwardly. Her father's face was livid with rage. He was about to call her again. I smiled. "Dad, since she's busy, let's not bother her." After saying this, it felt like all the strength drained out of me, and my body slid down the wall. The relatives and friends around were very critical of Emily. She was my wife, my mother's daughter-in-law. When my mother was being resuscitated, no matter how busy she was, she should have been there. But she wasn't. The light above the OR door went out, and the door opened. I immediately looked over with hopeful eyes, but what I saw were the pained faces of the doctors. My body trembling, I couldn't believe it, walking step by step towards the OR. Until I saw my mother's body, my tears could no longer be held back and flowed down like a breaking dam. In that moment, I could no longer deceive myself. There was no longer anyone in the world who would be unconditionally good to me. I refused Emily's father, mother, and the relatives and friends who offered to stay with me at the hospital, asking them to go home. I stayed alone at the hospital with my mother all night. The next morning, I called the funeral home to prepare my mother's body for viewing and make arrangements for the funeral. Watching my mother's remains being taken away, I took out my phone and sent a message to Emily. "Mom is gone." How I wished she would call me right away, rush to my side, and hold me to comfort me. But the message was sent, and it fell on deaf ears. I gave a self-mocking smile. I had loved Emily for 10 years, from love at first sight when we first met, to 5 years of silent companionship, 3 years of passionate pursuit, and 2 years of marriage. I had gotten used to having her by my side. But from now on, I would have to get used to not having her around. When I first saw her, she was wearing a white dress, her hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. Her face was free of makeup, and her smile was so clean and pure. The day she agreed to marry me, I was ecstatic. The moment I put the ring on her finger, I whispered, "The rest of my life is all about you." Her smile at that moment was so sweet, it was deeply etched in my heart. Before the wedding, I treated her like a treasure. After the wedding, I was always the same. She never showed affection with me in public, always saying, "Our life is just between the two of us. What others envy or are jealous of has nothing to do with us." Actually, I knew she was lying. Because when she was with Michael, the school buildings, playground, tree-lined walkways, they were their stage for public displays of affection. Although I was jealous, I never forced her. I was convinced that Michael was a thing of the past, that she was my wife now, and I was the one who would be with her for life. But that conviction was crumbling as she left me time and again, choosing to be with Michael. I also felt increasingly exhausted. Loving her was truly tiring. Michael called. Emily got drunk last night. I wasn't comfortable letting her go home alone, so she stayed at my place. But don't worry, nothing happened between us. Hearing his smug, provocative tone, I just lightly said, "Oh, is there anything else?" Michael didn't expect this attitude from me. After a moment, he said, "David, you really know your place. You understand there's no point in making a fuss. Thanks for the compliment." I replied politely, then hung up the phone and turned to walk into a street-side law firm office. I saw Emily again a couple of days after New Year's. I was sorting through my mother's belongings when she pushed the door open and came in. Today is a couple of days after New Year's, the day for visiting my parents. I'll go change. Wait for me, and we can go back together. I didn't refuse, because Emily's father and mother were very good to me. Soon, Emily came out dressed. I was very surprised. Usually, it took her at least half an hour to get dressed. It wasn't until I saw Michael waiting in the car that I understood. She was worried Michael would get impatient waiting. Michael S.M. "I'll at me. David, get in quickly. Today I'll be your and Emily's driver and take you both to visit her parents." I turned and asked Emily, "You want him to come along?" Emily quickly explained, "Don't overthink it. Michael was all alone at his place, so I just asked him to come along. Anyway, it's just for a meal. We'll come back after we eat." I smiled, pulled open the car door, and got into the back seat. She was right. It was just for a meal, and it would be the last one. "Emily, you get carsick easily. Why don't you sit in the front passenger seat?" Michael solicitously opened the front passenger door. Emily looked at me with hesitation, but after only a second's pause, she got into the front passenger seat. I used to worry about her getting carsick too, and would tell her to sit in the front passenger seat. But she refused, preferring to sit alone in the back. But it didn't matter anymore. I looked out at the rapidly passing scenery, my mind on the call I had received from the funeral home not long ago. My mother's body had been prepared for viewing, and the funeral was tomorrow. The funeral home asked if there was anything else I wanted to add to the funeral service arrangements. They suggested I consult with my wife, saying that the son and daughter-in-law have a significant role in the service. But looking at Emily laughing and talking with Michael in the front, I had no desire to ask her. I took out my phone and sent a message to the funeral home. "Remove the daughter-in-law's role from the funeral service. Keep everything else the same." "David, who are you messaging?" Emily suddenly asked. I didn't even look up, answering, "A friend." Emily didn't ask again, but throughout the rest of the drive, she frequently looked at me in the rearview mirror, seeming hesitant to speak. But I didn't look at her at all, keeping my head turned towards the window. In the past, I was the one who kept talking to her the whole way, and she was always indifferent, looking impatient. Now, it was my turn not to want to deal with her. Seeing me, Emily's father was very happy. But when he saw Michael get out of the car, his face immediately turned cold. Michael took 2 bottles of wine from the trunk. Emily smiled and said, "Dad, Michael bought these specifically for you." "Mph, I can't accept gifts like that." Her father snatched the 2 bottles of wine and threw them onto the ground. Michael's face instantly fell. "Dad, what are you doing?" Emily shouted in dissatisfaction, then turned to comfort Michael. "What am I doing? I'm disowning you. From now on, I don't have a daughter as unfilial as you. Get out of here now." Her father roared, his face pale with rage, then pulled my hand. "David, let's you and I go inside." I smiled and said, "Dad, don't say things you'll regret. Stop acting like the good guy. This is all because of you." Emily yelled at me. "It's all because you complain to Dad about every little thing. David, when are you going to grow up? Telling your parents about everything. Are you still a child?" The smile vanished from my face. I nodded. "You're right. I won't anymore." Her father was furious, pointing at Emily and shouting, "Why are you losing your temper at David? He didn't tell me anything. I'm the one who decided I don't recognize you as my daughter anymore. Apologize to David right now." Emily's face was cold. Her father was so angry he was about to hit her. I quickly pulled him into the house. Emily followed behind, pulling Michael along. "David, I know you're angry that I didn't come back on New Year's Eve. I can explain, Emily said, her face stern, her tone stiff. I drank too much that night. Michael wasn't comfortable letting me go back alone, so he looked after me all night. Nothing inappropriate happened between us. Don't think such dirty thoughts. I know, I replied in a flat tone. Whether anything happened between Emily and Michael that night was no longer important to me. Don't you have anything you want to ask? Emily persisted. No. I turned to go to the kitchen to help Emily's mother cook. Emily never cooked. She said she hated the smell of cooking fumes in the kitchen. After marrying her, cooking was always my job. David, don't bother with that. Let's you and I have a talk. Her father stopped me, lit a cigarette, and offered me one. I didn't smoke it, just held it in my hand. Her father sighed. About your mother, I'm very sorry. Emily made a huge mistake. As her father, I bear undeniable responsibility. If you want to divorce her, her mother and I will support you. I also don't have the face to ask you to forgive her. I just hope that after you divorce her, you can still consider this place your home and come visit often. I lowered my head, looking at the cigarette in my hand, saying nothing. Emily's face changed slightly. Dad, what are you talking about? Why would David divorce me? What did I do wrong? And what about my mother-in-law? Her father's face was full of anger, the hand holding the cigarette trembling. You have the nerve to ask? Your mother-in-law always treated you like her own daughter, and what about you? She had a stroke on New Year's Eve. Where were you when she was being resuscitated at the hospital? Where were you when she passed away? You have no respect. If David hadn't spoken up today, you wouldn't even be allowed through this door. Crash! Emily stood up in shock, knocking her chair to the floor. Dad, what are you saying? She turned to question me. David, tell me, is what Dad is saying true? Is he lying to me? I looked at her calmly. It's true. Mom passed away on New Year's Eve. Impossible! Emily screamed. David, why didn't you tell me about something this big? Mom was being resuscitated at the hospital. Why didn't you call me? Enough! Her father roared. How did David not call you? I called you too. But what about you? Her father pointed at Michael. You were with an outsider. You didn't even listen until I finished talking before you hung up the phone. Now you're blaming David? How could I have a daughter like you? No, no! Emily cried out, tears streaming down her face. Dad, I really didn't know. I thought David was just complaining to you to force me to come back. David, you know Mom treated me like her own daughter. How could I not have respect for her? I truly didn't know. If I had known, no matter what I was doing, I would have rushed to the hospital immediately. Michael spoke up. David, don't blame Emily. It's my fault. I asked her to stay with me. If you want to blame someone, blame me. I apologize to you. After saying that, Michael stood up and bowed deeply to me. I remained seated on the sofa and said calmly, I don't blame you, and I don't blame Emily. My mother had a hard life, and so did I. Dad, it seems we can't have this meal today. I'm leaving now. I turned to Emily's father and said, then stood up and walked towards the door. Don't go. Emily grabbed me, tears ruining her carefully applied makeup. Where are Mom's remains? I'm sorry to her. I want to kneel before her and beg for her forgiveness. I gently pulled her hand away. No need. Mom might not want to see you. When Emily and I got married, Mom was happy. More than once, she told me to be good to Emily. She said it wasn't easy for two people to reach the point of marriage. If there were disagreements, we could argue, but we should never say harsh words, and definitely never mention divorce. I took it to heart. After getting married, I never argued with Emily. I kept any grievances bottled up inside. But what happened on New Year's Eve made me fully realize that love is not compromise. No matter how much I did, how much I yielded, if two hearts weren't together, they would never reach the end. In Emily's heart, Michael would always come first. Her love never belonged to me. David. Emily chased after me. I was wrong that New Year's Eve. I don't ask for your forgiveness. I just ask you to give me a chance to pay respects before Mom's memorial. Her eyes were red and swollen, her face full of pleading. This was the first time she had ever begged me, and the first time I had seen her vulnerable side. If it were before, I would have immediately held her in my arms. But now, there wasn't a single ripple in my heart. I smiled. No need. Mom has passed away. You should cherish the living. I looked at Michael, who had followed her out. Like him. David, you're really mistaken. Emily and I are completely innocent. Nothing happened on New Year's Eve. I know David's mother passed away, and you're very sad. But Emily is also sad. You love her, and she loves you. Why hurt each other? Michael earnestly tried to persuade me. As you said, the deceased are gone. The living should cherish what's right in front of them. He grabbed Emily's hand, then grabbed mine, making our hands clasp together. Okay, I declare you two are reconciled. Emily looked at me hopefully, but my attention was entirely on how she hadn't resisted at all when Michael just grabbed her hand. I released Emily's hand and smiled as I asked Michael, what standing do you have to declare us reconciled? Her ex? The third party? Or the victor? Michael's face darkened. David, aren't you going too far with that? Even if you don't believe me, you should believe Emily. I trusted Emily too much. If I had made a fuss as soon as I discovered she was still connected to Michael, maybe what happened on New Year's Eve wouldn't have occurred. David, Emily was wrong that night, but were you completely blameless? I was taken aback that Michael would actually blame me. When I answered the phone that night, why didn't you say David's mother was being resuscitated at the hospital? And when Emily called you back later, you still didn't say anything? Emily isn't psychic. How could she have known David's mother was being resuscitated at the hospital? So it was still my fault. I slowly nodded and asked Emily, is that what you think too? Emily quickly said, no, it's my fault. It was my fault for not answering your phone and for not asking what was wrong. David, I just beg you to give me a chance to pay my respects to Mom. No need. I've already had a lawyer draft a divorce agreement. After Mom's funeral, we'll get divorced. I turned to leave. Michael grabbed me. David, you're too heartless. How can you blame everything on Emily? She's hurting too. Let go. I forcefully shook off Michael's hand. He fell to the ground with a cry of pain. Emily quickly helped him up, her face full of concern. Are you okay? Seeing this scene, I gave a self-mocking smile. What was I still expecting? It was time to end this. I walked into a street-side law firm office. Mr. David, your divorce agreement is ready. I flipped through it page by page. The lawyer was very professional. The divorce agreement was very detailed. Mr. David, is there anything else you'd like to add? I shook my head. No, that's it. Holding the divorce agreement, I went back home. My marriage with Emily had finally come to an end. Honey, you're back. Emily was waiting for me at home. I said, you came back at the right time. Here's the divorce agreement. Sign it if you have no problems. Emily didn't take it. Her eyes red-rimmed. She looked at me. Honey, I don't want to divorce you. I love you. I smiled. This was the first time Emily had ever told me she loved me. But there was no joy in my heart, only sorrow. Because this love was bought with Mom's life. Sign it. I placed the divorce agreement on the table and walked into the bedroom. Honey. Emily followed me in and hugged me from behind. I'm sorry for what I did. I failed you in your love. Now I understand that I love you, not Michael. So? I asked indifferently. Emily held me tightly, pressing her face against my back. So give me a chance to prove it. I'll spend my life making it up to you. But I didn't want compensation. I forcefully pried Emily's hands off. It's too late. We can't go back to the way things were. Yes, we can. Emily was very agitated. Honey, I know you still love me, and I love you too. We'll have a good life together from now on. We'll never be apart again, and no one will ever bother us. The moment she finished speaking, her phone suddenly rang. I glanced at it. It was Michael calling. Emily looked at me awkwardly. Go ahead and answer it. I said indifferently, stepping a little further away to give her enough space. Emily took a deep breath, answered the phone, and said coldly, don't call this number again. Emily, I called to tell you I'm leaving the country. Leaving the country? Emily's voice involuntarily rose in volume. She asked urgently, why are you leaving the country out of the blue? If I stay here, I'll only affect your relationship with David. Only if I leave can you and he go back to the way you were. Emily, goodbye. I wish you happiness. Emily put down her phone, looking distraught. I asked, "He's leaving the country. Aren't you going to see him off one last time?" Emily looked up at me, her smile strained. "No need. He's not a child. He can take care of himself." I said no more, took out some clothes to change into, and went into the bathroom. Actually, I was still a little happy. But when I woke up in the middle of the night, thirsty, Emily was nowhere to be seen in the room. She had gone after all. I sank onto the sofa. The room, with no lights on, was plunged into darkness, just like my heart had completely fallen into an abyss. Emily and I had had sweet times together. When she broke up with Michael, I was the one who stayed by her side the whole time. I cried with her, drank with her to drown her sorrows, traveled with her to help her relax. "David, why are you so good to me?" That night, she leaned drunkenly against my shoulder. "Because I love you. You deserve me being good to you." It was the first time I had expressed my feelings to her. She smiled. "David, you finally said it. I thought you would keep it bottled up forever. But why didn't you say it sooner? 5 years. I waited for you for 5 years." I took her by the shoulders, making her look directly at me. "It's not too late now. I'll always love you." "You said it," she murmured, leaning into my arms. "David, Michael doesn't want me anymore. From now on, I'm yours. I'll try to fall in love with you." But in the end, she never fell in love with me and never forgot Michael. I sat on the sofa all night until I received a call from the funeral home. "Mr. David, the funeral arrangements are ready." "I understand." I went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face. My eyes in the mirror were bloodshot. Emily still hadn't called, not even sent a message. I didn't wait any longer. I changed clothes and hurried to the cemetery. Relatives and friends were all there. Emily's father and mother were also there. "Where's Emily? Why didn't she come?" Uncle John angrily questioned her father. "She and David aren't divorced yet. She doesn't even attend her mother-in-law's funeral. Is that how you raised your daughter?" Her father lowered his head in shame. "You're not welcome here. Please leave." Aunt Carol spoke up, telling Emily's father and mother to leave. Uncle John and the other relatives also glared angrily at Emily's father and mother. I spoke up, "Emily and I aren't divorced yet. They are still my parents. Emily is Emily, and they are them." I acknowledged them. Only then did Uncle John and Aunt Carol relent. Her father looked at me with a face full of guilt, opening his mouth to speak. I forced a smile. "Dad, you don't need to say anything. I understand. The funeral service is about to begin. Today, I wanted nothing else but for my mother's funeral service to conclude peacefully. This was my mother's last day on earth. But the unexpected happened anyway. Just as the funeral service was nearing its end, Emily arrived. But she didn't come alone. She brought Michael with her. My face immediately turned cold. Uncle John and Aunt Carol, as well as all the relatives and friends present, were enraged. The first to react was her father. He pointed at Emily angrily. "Who told you to bring an outsider here? Get out right now." Emily hastily explained, "Dad, Michael is leaving the country soon. He just wanted to come and bow to David's mother." Michael echoed, "Mr. Miller, I didn't mean anything else. I just wanted to simply pay my respects." "My mother doesn't need you to pay respects," I said with a cold face. "Please go back where you came from." Michael sighed. "David, I know you have resentment towards me, but our grievances shouldn't involve the elders. I just wanted to show my respect for the elder." "Show respect? I think you're here to show off and provoke." My face grew even colder. "I'll say it again. Go back where you came from." "David." Emily walked up to me and grabbed my arm. "Today is Mom's funeral. Don't make a scene. Michael just wants to show his respect as a junior. He'll bow and leave." I gave a bitter laugh. So she still knew it was Mom's funeral. But she brought an outsider to Mom's funeral, her first love no less. Did she want to keep Mom from resting in peace even in heaven? I looked coldly at Emily and said something I thought I would never say to her in my life. "Emily, you disgust me." "Honey." Emily stared at me blankly. "Honey, what are you saying?" I said, "You disgust me." I gestured to the funeral home staff standing nearby. "Please escort them out. I'm not leaving." Emily struggled and screamed, looking at me through her tears. "Honey, you're kicking me out? Don't you love me anymore?" Seeing her sad and pained expression, I felt no pity at all. That's right, I don't love you anymore. After saying that, I turned away. Honey, Emily's heartbroken cry echoed behind me. I didn't look back even once. David, you must divorce her. Exactly. Bringing another man to your mother's funeral to cause trouble? A woman like that has to be divorced. Uncle John and Aunt Carol said angrily beside me. The other relatives and friends also heavily criticized Emily, and didn't give her father and mother friendly looks either. I've already drafted the divorce agreement. I'm just waiting for her to sign it, I said to Uncle John and Aunt Carol, then continued with my mother's funeral service. After the funeral service ended, I stayed alone in the cemetery. Mom, I'm going to disappoint you. I looked at my mother's picture on the tombstone and said softly, my mother always hoped that Emily and I would have a good life together forever. But in the end, reality isn't a play. There won't be a happy ending. I went home to pack my bags. A year ago, the company had planned to transfer me to an out-of-state branch office. But my mother wasn't in good health, and I couldn't bear to leave Emily, so I refused. Now it was time to leave. I took all the belongings my mother had left behind and took a taxi to the airport. But I saw Emily, who was seeing Michael off as he left the country. They were hugging each other. I pretended not to see them, walked past the two of them towards the boarding gate. Honey, I heard hurried footsteps behind me. Emily ran in front of me. Where are you going? I answered calmly, to the out-of-state branch office. I don't want you to go. She grabbed my suitcase, pleading desperately. Honey, please don't go. I don't want us to live apart. I smiled. It's not separation, it's divorce. I left the divorce agreement. It's on the bed in the bedroom. Sign it and let me know. I'll find time to come back and finalize the divorce with you. I don't want to divorce you. I won't sign it. Emily yelled. Then we'll just have to meet in court. Once the required separation period is over, I'll file for divorce. I pulled the suitcase away forcefully. I need to board. Emily, gee. Goodbye. Honey, don't go. Emily chased after me but was stopped by airport staff at the boarding gate. I boarded the plane without looking back. At the branch office, it was an unfamiliar environment. Everything had to start anew. I rented a room near the office. Every day, I threw myself completely into my work, not thinking about anything else. Emily's social media profile picture seemed to pulsate every day. Honey, where did you go? Honey, where are you coming back? I miss you. Honey, please come back. I can't live without you. I rarely replied. When I did, it was only to ask her, have you signed the divorce agreement? She always dodged the question. I stopped pressing the issue. Anyway, once the separation period was up, I would file for divorce with the court. Because I worked hard and was sent from the head office, I was soon appointed project manager at the branch office, in charge of new projects. As a result, I became even busier. Every day I came home, I just crashed into bed. Gradually, I forgot about Emily and got used to life without her. I used to think I couldn't live without her. Only now did I realize I was stronger than I thought. 2 months later, the new project I was in charge of achieved great success. At the celebration party, I saw Emily again. She had lost weight. She also looked much more haggard than before. Honey, I missed you so much. She rushed into my arms. The colleagues around us looked at us with surprise. I pushed her away. Are you here to give me the divorce agreement? You could have just sent a message. No, I cut her off. If you're not here to give me the divorce agreement, you don't need to say anything else. The look in Emily's eyes dimmed. Honey, do we really have to get divorced? Did you think I was joking before? I looked at her in surprise, unable to understand why she still thought I wasn't serious about the divorce at this point. I thought we could still go back to the way things were. Emmy. Ly gave a bitter smile, then took a deep breath. Okay, I agreed to the divorce. I nodded. After the celebration party, I'll go back and finalize the divorce with you. Emily opened her mouth, looking as though she wanted to say something but stopped herself. I didn't give her a chance to speak her mind and turned to walk towards my colleagues. The celebration party was lively, and I was the absolute center of attention. Emily didn't leave, she kept watching me. After it ended, I received a congratulatory text message from her. "Congratulations, you've always been amazing." I replied politely, "Thank you." That day, I asked the manager for leave and went back with her to finalize the divorce. At the entrance of City Hall, I ran into Michael. He was holding flowers and knelt on one knee in front of Emily. "Emily, marry me." Emily explained to me in a panic, "David, I didn't know he would come, and I certainly didn't know he would propose to me." I smiled. "Isn't this great? After divorcing me, you can immediately get married to him." "No, I never thought that." Emily shook her head frantically, tears streaming down. "Honey, I plan to pursue you again after the divorce. I never considered marrying him. Believe me." My expression was indifferent. Whether Emily would marry Michael or not was no longer my concern. As for her talk of pursuing me and starting over, I didn't even consider it. Emily looked at Michael, her tone cold. "I did like you once, but now I love David. I won't accept your proposal. Please leave." Michael's face changed. He forced a smile. "Emily, give me a chance. Before, I didn't know how to cherish you and I failed you. From now on, I'll be doubly good to you. I'll only love you." Emily shook her head, her tone even colder. "Michael, I've forgotten about the past. Please don't bother me again. The person I love now is David, not you." "I don't believe it," Michael shouted, his face twisted with rage. "Emily, you clearly still love me. Is it because of him?" He pointed at me, his face full of hatred. "David, you're clearly divorcing Emily, so why are you still clinging to her? It's all because of you. Without you, Emily would definitely accept my proposal." I frowned. "You're blaming the wrong person. I've never clung to Emily. As for why she didn't accept your proposal, you should ask her." Michael immediately looked at Emily, his face full of pleading. "Emily, I truly love you. Marry me?" Before Emily could speak, a cold snort suddenly sounded. "You don't love her. You're after her money, after my family's wealth." Emily's father walked over, his face cold. Michael's face changed drastically. He stubbornly said, "Mr. Miller, I don't understand what you're talking about. I truly love Emily. You don't understand? Then I'll make you understand." Her father threw the documents he was holding right at Michael. I looked at a few of them. They were all debt bills, the amounts huge. Emily was in disbelief. "Dad, is this all true? The facts are right in front of you. How could it be false?" Her father barked coldly. He wasn't doing anything proper overseas, just fooling around with a bunch of people, racking up a mountain of debt. That's why he ran back to the country. The debt collectors have been pressuring him to pay back the money. He set his sights on you. His love is fake. Using your money and our family's assets to help him pay off his debts is real." Michael's face was ashen. He stammered, "No, that's not true. Emily, believe me. Mr. Miller is lying to you. He wants to break us up." "Enough!" Emily roared. "Michael, I never thought you were this kind of person. I must have been blind to fall in love with you before. Get lost. I never want to see you again." Just then, several men in suits appeared, smirking at Michael. "So you ran off to here, Mr. Michael. Come with us. It's time to pay up." What do you want?" Michael struggled desperately. "No! Help me, Emily, help me." Emily's bod. Why trembled with anger, her face very unpleasant to look at. I watched coolly from the sidelines. Only after Michael was shoved into a car and driven away did I say to Emily, "It's time to finalize the divorce." Emily looked at me, her lips trembling, unable to speak. Emily's father sighed deeply. Coming out of City Hall, Emily stared blankly at the marriage certificate in her hand for a while, then looked up at me. "David, I cut her off. "I have something to do at the office. I'm leaving now." After saying that, I nodded to her father and turned to leave. I didn't go to the airport immediately. Instead, I went to my mother's grave. "Mom, I got divorced. I loved Emily for 10 years, and in the end, I found she wasn't right for me. Maybe she truly regrets it now, but I'm afraid. Afraid that without Michael, there would just be someone else, and someone else after that. So, Mom, can you understand?" A gentle breeze blew, softly caressing my face. I smiled. "Mom, thank you. Not long after I got back to the office, I received a call from Emily. "David, Dad is planning to send me abroad." "Okay. I wish you smooth sailing abroad. I'll miss you." I smiled. Time is the most peculiar thing. It can make two people forget each other. 2 years later, I became the company manager. The night of the celebration, my colleagues plied me with a lot of drinks, and I returned home feeling dizzy. The door next door suddenly opened. When I saw the person who walked out, my drunkenness vanished instantly. It was Emily. She hadn't changed much from 2 years ago, wearing a conservative pajama set. "Hello." She smiled and extended her hand towards me. "I'm the new neighbor. I'm Emily." I was silent for a moment, then reached out and shook her hand. "Hello. I'm David." She smiled brightly. "We're neighbors now. Please look out for me." "Okay." I nodded, pushed open my door, and walked into my room. The moment I closed the door, I leaned my back against it. After a long I let out a long sigh. I was wrong. Time hadn't made her forget me. But she and I could never go back to the way things were.